Oh, right. Okay. Well, looks like we're live. Um, so yeah, just a quick overview. In my spare time, I've been building a system, a mobile app with a back end and a database for managing tennis matches. I play tennis, and it's a bit of a pain, and everybody else that plays tennis at the tennis club I play at find it a pain. So why not build a solution? I'm not really doing this for any financial gain. They haven't even asked for it, but it's a good way to sort of learn how to do some different coding. Now I've been using Flutter for about 4 years now, and Go for about 6, if not 7. Done so much SQL in my career that I know that backwards, and yet it's normally Microsoft SQL Server just because I feel comfortable with it. But I'm trying to break away from that because I've recently switched to Linux, and yeah, it's just an aggro I could do without having to use like a virtual machine or whatever it is. Just for the UI, really, the management studio I find really good. So I thought I'd do a live stream of me attempting to switch out part of the application because it's not finished, but it does something at the moment. But I thought I'd have a go at switching out the user list, which is about as simple as it goes, using Turso. Is it Turso? Yeah, I think it's called Turso, which is a MySQL type thing. So currently, the Go backend in here is going to be, and it's all using GRPC as well, and protobuf, to communicate the different data structures in Go and in Flutter. So currently, the Go backend is pulling the list of users from the database using a stored procedure. And all I want to do is to replace that with data coming from Turso. So it shouldn't be that difficult, should it? We'll find out. Right, where to go first? I think first thing we'll do is we'll kick off some tmux sessions, if I can remember how to use it. And we will, I've got my gRPC server in here, which is basically just the code that is running the Go backend. And if I make another tmux session and go into the proto, I think yeah. So here is all of the protobuf definitions. Yeah, so the user table currently just has a user ID and a username. So it's nice and simple as whether or not it's going to be stricter to say each table should just have an ID rather than a user ID. I prefer this way, but then I don't know, maybe that's when I'm doing lots of SQL joins. We'll leave it like that for now. And also this thing is streaming data from the Go backend to the client, and the client in Flutter is using block. It's all pretty complicated. But for this video, I really just want to keep it nice and simple and work out how I can modify this piece of code here to enable us to get the data in Turso. So, do we have a video open? Turso. Log in. Right, so I've already created a database here in London as the primary with a replicated or a replica in the Netherlands. And I think I've already created a table. Now, I've never really used this all before, so This is going to be really boring to watch, but hey, we're on a journey. Yeah, okay, so I named this just ID. I think this is straight from the example. So I guess the first thing to do is, can we redefine those column names? I get the feeling there's going to be lots and lots of stuff that I don't know how to do. What is this? A web interface? Some kind of schema. Or are we better off just creating the migration script to create tables if they don't already exist? I don't know. Oh, it's wonderful not knowing where you are. Okay, so I know about the token thing and how to connect. I did that from my laptop last night. I think that's what we're going to have to do. Let's have a look, see if there's some code examples. I don't even know how to create a branch. Really? For the database. Well, that's pretty cool. Well, I guess that's exactly what we want to do, isn't it? Although in this case, it would be easier to just delete or drop that table. Let's have a look at the command line. Turso, command not found. Okay, I think I need to install the Turso CLI. Linux. That looks like it does it. And what kind of creature that's supposed to be? Looks like the mask. Right. We can now close that and return to our API. So, do we have that? No, we don't have that. Do we need to source anything? Yes, we need to source. I've got a shortcut, an alias for source bash sb. Right. So we can do Turso db list AOFT, anyone for tennis. Info AOFT, I'm guessing. AOFT inspect. AOFT. Right, finally we got something. So we can see the number of rows written in red and embedded sinks. This is a brave new world. Brave new world. how you get into. Well, let's follow the tutorial. Okay, so we've authenticated already, and yeah, authentication, grading, help. We want like a quick start, really, don't we? DB maybe. Turso DB list. Turso DB destroy. I don't want to destroy the whole DB. How do we get in there? Platform API. Okay, that's interesting. We can run it locally. Let's ask Chibbity. I've created a DB in Turso and want to delete a table. To delete a table in Turso, yeah, I know how you drop table. Yeah, I get that. But how do I get to it? How do I get to it in the CLI? Okay. Is there something I said? Introduction. No, I don't want to get into that. It's definitely this. Oh, Jibbity, you failed me. How do I use our Turso CLI to enter SQL commands? Yes. I think I've done it through DB list. DB connect. Really? Are you just hallucinating? Turso DB connect. I didn't see that up there. No, you're making it up. Rubbish. I don't think that's true. Okay, well, this is always head scratchy time. Maybe we're just a good old Google. Turso CLI drop table. I don't know, something like that. Usage, DB create, start a shell. Shell. Yeah, okay, I think that's it. Shell. Shell, was it? Shell. Database name. Boom. Connecting. So if I do select start, right? Start. Really? Okay. Select. Dot quit. Control Z. Select start from users. And yeah, how do I run that? This doesn't work. Didn't it say that there was a shell with a query after it? I'm not sure if that's going to be as a string. Maybe it is select start from user. No such table users. Right. Well, if that's the case, then we should be able to run drop table users. Well, it didn't upset anybody. And it's definitely gone. Right. Well, I can see a little alias coming in handy for that bit. But regardless, I would have thought the next thing to work out how to do is going to be using the or getting sorry, I'm waffling. Getting the Go backend hooked up. We'll keep it with SQL as well for a bit. And I guess we just need to create a table. Yeah. Let me get the connection thing done first of all. So there's a bit about the tokens. Right. Turso. Client SDK. Go. Right. Turso DB tokens create database name and the URL. Well, I'm going to put both of those in my bash file, but I'm going to just turn the screen back to me and my bass guitar while I do that. And hopefully I can copy and paste from the kitty prompt, because that was playing me up something chronic. Right, okay, that's that one. And that's that one. So, yeah, export, and we'll call this AOFT Turso URL, and it will be this. And export AOFT Turso token, and that will be that. Okie dokie. AOFT Turso URL and token. Right. Source that and echo AOFT Turso URL. Good. Good. All right, clear that stuff. Clear that, and yeah, we should be okay to go back in there again. Right, all of which means we should now be able to follow this little tutorial. Local or embedded replicas or remote only. I think this is remote only. We're going to go for that one. Boom. And let's move this window there. And then that window over there. So we're only one hop away. Okay, so connecting to remote only. Embedded replica connector. I'm wondering if we should use the embedded replica. I'm not really sure at what point the embedding takes place. I mean, we've got one replica in London and one in the Netherlands. So there's that. I guess we can all come back and change it. This thing here is doing what it needs to do. So let's just see if we can open it. Let's just grab this function and let's add a file called Turso user.go and we'll call that test. Test Turso connection. All right. So these little bits are going to be am I getting confused here? Yeah, I'm getting confused. Okay. sprintf. We'll have that with %s and %s, and we'll have Turso URL and Turso token, and let's define those up here. Turso URL will be os dot get env. Yeah, it's close enough. I think we called them AOFT and AOFT Turso token. Yep. We don't want to print that out. Yeah. Okay. We want to have package mains. No, don't guess that. Package main, and then bring in some imports. Oh, did I forget to put an equal sign there? I did. Okay, that was the wrong one. I can't remember what. That doesn't look right. Let's print F. Ah, FMT. Delete in brackets. Test code. Yeah, okay, well there you go. So that's doing or going to try and do something. So let's split that window. Is that split? Why have you not split? Why is my shortcut not working for splitting? God damn you. Alright, whatever. Right, so in main, when everything else kicks off, let's just kick this straight off. So we'll do Turso. Was it? Test Turso connection. Test Turso connection. Yeah. GRPC. Error. Failed to open. Oh, look, it spits the entire key out. Forgotten import. Well, it looks like it's got everything right. Forgotten import. We'll better go and change those keys in a minute. I don't think there's anybody listening. Oh my God, there's been one view. Good God. Probably enough to go and get my key. Right. Where was we? Oh, God, this is boring. Unused function. Literally just used it. It seemed to be saying something about am I missing? I need to manually import those. I thought that brought them in automatically for me. Oh, maybe it's this one. Let's try it again. Ah, connected to database. Now then. It didn't error. I think that can only mean that the connection was good. Yeah, okay. Come on. Print. Yeah, that one. Successfully connected. Let me see it say it do something good. Good. It worked. Right. Right, well, now that's done, I think what I'll do is I'll hop back to here again. Reissue. How do I revoke a token? That's an interesting one. Revoke token. API token name. I don't remember even giving it a name. Turso tokens token. Turso auth API tokens list name. Name. Okay. Right. Let's have that one instead. Still doesn't seem to have picked it up. Okay, successfully connected. Do 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 do. All right. Nope. Boring conversation anyway. Had one view. I'm a streaming god. Anyway, we've made some progress. Oh, sorry about the old bleeps. We are now able to connect. So why don't we have a bit of code that actually goes and creates a table, and we'll play with that. Func table user table create. We'll call it that because why not? Now then, let's move some of this stuff. Turso URL. Turso connection string. Bit wordy. Yank in word. V in word paste. No, I don't think it's a good idea poking that out. So I'm not going to. I am going to. Yeah, let's do it like that. Right, which means now the question is it good practice to open these and close these connections, or just have some sort of connection pool? I don't know. I'm not going to trouble myself with that at the moment. I'm going to pop this for now just up here. Really? Why am I struggling so much today? Cut that out and paste that in there. Yeah. I guess if we have that defined globally, which this is not, var Turso connection string. Yeah. No. Dude, you're getting it all wrong. Yeah. It's unused. Well, it shouldn't be unused. You should be going straight into the belly of that one. Right, well, let's just make sure that still works. Yeah, it connects. So, user database table creating. Well, we're really going to want to package all this stuff up into something more consistent, but for now, let's have a look over here. Where's my quick start? Go. Yeah, but right. Okay, so we can connect to the DB. I think we're inside the wrong. Embedded replicas only. When using embedded replicas, you should call sync on the connector to sync your local database with the primary database. Okay. I think we was going to use the work with embedded replicas that can sync from the remote database to a local SQLite file and delegate rights to the remote primary database. Oh, no, that's pretty cool. So you have your local file that you sync from production, and then you write to this, and it delegates rights to the remote. I say, okay. Well, that's really quite cool. If that's the case, then if the updates are done whenever anybody updates anything, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this works. In my mind, the monolithic mega database has always been absolute king. Though I did play around with some event sourcing stuff a while ago using CQRS, and that was pretty cool. But so much work. Okay. Periodic sync. By default, the database connection ensures that writes are immediately visible to subsequent read operations initiated by the same connection. Yeah, and some encryption. Right. No examples at all. And then we're on to Python. Well, we're using Go. It's pretty lean. Pretty lean. db.query. Okay. What kind of thing is this? It's a SQL DB. We go into our server definition. We've already got one DB called DB. That's the SQL database. Let's call this one Turso DB. And let's keep that separate to... Excuse me, it was my tummy. Turso DB. Man, that's bugging me, that being a little b. Camel case rules, but don't leave the last one hanging. Right. I think what we'll do is we'll just keep that bit of code. In there. And we'll make it another pointer method. What do we call it? Turso connection string. Oh my god, that's too wordy. Yes. Why do you do that? Yeah. Then we're also going to need this guy. And then here, if it's not an error, what we're going to do is we're going to, I guess we don't even need the local definition. We'll just have s.tursodb. Why don't you return that? Defined db. It's just a SQL DB. Or is it? No. Should be just the same as this one. s.tursodb. Non-name TursoDB on the left side. Server struct. Don't need that in there anymore. Non-name s.tursodb. Well, it's not a non-name. That's a pointer to a DB. And this thing returns pointer to a DB. Okay, I'm making a silly mistake somewhere here. Pretty sure that doesn't need to be like that. We'll just keep it consistent. Okay, so we've defined the variable for error up here, and that means we haven't got to use that to assign anything to new. Yeah, maybe that was what it was. Although I thought at that point error would have been a new one. Anyway. Right. Create users table. So if we have this as well as still getting used to this keyboard. A method. Then we should have access to yeah, something like that. We've got a users table called ID, which we want to call user ID, and we'll camel case that as well. I don't think we need all that stuff yet. We can always add that on. I want to keep this super lean. Right, okay, so we're going to execute. This is the wrong database, and therefore that probably isn't the code for it. Not sure if you can do db.exec, or is it db.query? I don't know. Let's pop back to here. Currently, let's just see if this thing still runs before I actually run that bit of code. Connected to database, it said, but it's connecting to two databases. Okay, test. Yeah, Turso connect. Turso connect. Yankin word. Okay, so let's do that first of all. Yeah. And that one. New Turso connect. Okay, we didn't put any error handling on this at all. Error. Return error. Otherwise, return nil. I think that's a bit better. Let's keep that lowercase. Connected to Turso, connected to database. Let's keep that specific. And I wonder if can we change the font size? No, we can only change all of it. All right, connected to both. Nice. All right. Let's immediately run our user table migration. Yeah. All right. So error. Yes, it will be that. And it will be that. And it will be that. Seems to have problems creating the very last thing. So failed to create the table. SQL database is closed. It's closed. Jesus Christ, has somebody nicked my key already? All right, no tables. Is the database closed? I don't think it's closed. Is it closed? Oh. Database is closed. Successfully connected to Turso here, where we set the database connection in the server. It is closed because we're running that. Well, that's obviously got to go somewhere else, isn't it? Let's add that outside of here, if we can. So when the main loop exits, it should shut down. Failed to create table. Database is closed. Well, let's just comment that out for it. Did we actually remove it from the other screen? I don't know if we did. Don't know if we did. No, it wasn't saved. Let's add that back in again. Well, something different. Failed to execute SQL. SQL string could not be passed. Unexpected input. Create table users. Okay, it's just a closing bracket. Created users table, right. Edit tables. We've got a users table. Look at that. So I can add a record in there from here. This needs to be an auto number, by the way. JB. Default. Okay. Maybe that. Save one change. No. What's this mean? Refresh. This is not a schema designer. This is just a query executor. Jesus. Well, we are making some progress. Now then, if I rerun this, it absolutely should not recreate that table again. because it already exists. Okay. I can replace these with the backticks. Now that is a key I do not use very often. I have no idea on this keyboard how to access the backtick. Tilde. Going to be over there somewhere. F24. Oh, that's interesting. That's full screen. Don't know. I'd have to go into the. Do you know what? That's fine. So it is a primary key, but can I make it an auto number? This is just my SQLite, isn't it? SQLite 3 auto increment. Yeah. Auto increment keyword. Oh, so nice to see just a simple example. You get one for free called row ID. Oh, that's right. Okay. This is in every SQLite table whether you ask for it or not. If you include a column type integer primary key, that column points at it's an alias for the automatic row ID. Okay. Edit tables. Add record. June. No. Oh, Darth. Save one change. So these are still showing as null. And yet our definition did say primary key. Yeah, you pass null to it. Well, let's try inserting some users. Why not? Create. Well, let's call it insert. Insert user. Or your username, which is a string. Delete in quotes. So we're going to do yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Expected semicolon. Oh. Yep. Failed to insert user. inserted user. Right. This is exciting. Error equals g.insert user. And we'll do Luke. And we'll handle all of this stuff. Well, did we insert Luke? Well, it's a no. Users already exist. Right. We can shut that one down. So we didn't supply an ID, which is absolutely right. But is it that MySQL wants it to be like that? And we know the table already exists. I don't think we need to run that every time. Let's do for GCC. Inserted user. What craziness do we have going on here now? We have Luke, but we have no user IDs. And that's really important. SQL runner. Run. Yeah. User ID. Oh dear. I just did my shortcut for replacing Control R with F5. Excuse me. Well, not so good. What happens if we actually provide a value? It did not seem to like it. Didn't say fail to insert Luke. Ah. Right. Yes. And if we do layer, it fails, which is right, because there can't be two user ID ones. But it's not auto numbering, which troubles me. I've got a funny feeling I've been here before with SQLite. I think they leave it down to you. I think they leave it down to you to. Let's see what Jippity says. I'm trying to insert a record into my users table in SQLite. Let's say Turso. The user ID field is an int and primary key. How do I insert a record and have the user ID auto increment like an identity column in MSSQL? To have an auto-incrementing primary key in Turso or most SQL databases, you generally define the user ID field as an integer with the auto-increment attribute when creating the table. This will ensure that the user ID is automatically incremented with each new record. primary space key. Not so sure about that. Auto increment. Right. Let's get rid of that. Should be able to modify that one column. This is really where I just start to feel so out of control when it comes to a SQL MSSQL database. I just know where I am. I know I can get to that data and I know I can fix problems. But I'm trying to learn different stuff. User table create. Yes, that's right. We remmed it out, didn't we? Let's do another one of these. To say user table drop, and we'll say drop table users delete in quotes. No. Delete 2 quotes. Thank you. Failed to drop table. So then, if we do connect to for GCC, yank that, pop that in there, and then users table drop. I don't think we need to have that in there as well, but that should be it. So it should drop the old table. Drop table users. On an integer primary key. Well, it looks like it dropped it. Yeah. This is probably right over where my face is reading this bit of text over here. Not ideal. I'm going to do that. Then at least there should be a distinction. Auto increment is only allowed on an integer primary key. Well, it's right there in clear as mud. Integer primary key. I'm not so sure. Integer primary key. I mean, that's not anything to do with it, surely, is it? Yeah. No. Yeah. Failed to drop table. Yeah, I know. It's because we have dropped it already. And yeah. Right. It looks like that's worked. Do we have a user 1? We have a user 1. Now, do we have a user 2? Nope. That's because we're still dropping the table and recreating it every time. Which is just me testing stuff. All right. We should have 2 loops now, right? That's going to be annoying. Yeah. Layer. Good. And that shouldn't be changeable. Yeah. Good. Refresh. I'm not particularly happy with that. Discard changes. Alrighty. Okay, well, while we're at this, I think our existing database has got a few users in it. This is messy. I think this big resolution just makes everything seem much more messy. I don't know, we'll just put some different looks in. So we should have a bunch of looks. Right. I could definitely make this a bit more interesting. We'll keep Luke and layer, and I guess we'll have Han and Chewy. Is that how you spell Chewy? And Darth. We'll keep this intergalactic tennis going. Oh, yes. Of course it's going to get it. But this one will be C3PO. C3PO. Oh, of course. Oh, this is great. I haven't even got to think about it. It's just going to come up with Yoda. All the favourites. I wonder when it's going to run out. Boba. Yeah. Jabba. I want to see Jabba play tennis. Greedo. I reckon he'd be pretty good. No, we've had Lando. No, we have not had Lando. Good. Right. Now this is going to have all those Lukes as well because we're not dropping the table every time. So, I don't know if we need to waste our energy. But maybe just one last time. We're on that. And we've got all of our users. Right. And undo. Oh God, stop pressing the same wrong key. It is V. Okay. Are we going to keep on adding these users every time we run the code? Yes, we are. We should put that somewhere a bit nicer. But anyhow. On to 18 seconds. Wow, that must have been captivating. We'll leave all those in there. So the streaming classes, I think it's the worst named variable ever. calling the tennis matches classes. But there you go. Right. So defined in our server, we have a list or a slice of protobuf users. Now the protobuf users are just the user ID and name. And they are populated. I think that I put that into. No, it must be under the old user. So list users. And I think this is called from. Yeah. So list users is going to return a slice of users and an error, which is going to be set in U, and U will subsequently be put into the server users with the mutex around it. So the Go server has got tabs on all the different users that exist without having to go to the server all of the time. So all we got to do is to modify that, which is using the SQL connection, DB list users. And what does this do? Yeah, so the store procedure actually formats the data out as JSON, and then that is marshaled or unmarshaled into the user's structure, which is data, which is a slice of pointers to the protobuf users, and that works nicely. Don't know how it's going to work with my with the SQLite thing. I guess we'll find out. Yeah. But either way, potentially, yeah, you two guys, well, this one especially, we'll keep it the same because, or will be. Let's use this Turso, maybe we'll do that. Yeah, we'll create a different method. Stream users. I don't think we end up using that one. This is pretty over-engineered. I think I'm going to have some lunch and end this stream.